Hello historical people, it's Wes talking about English longsword yet again. Fifth lesson of The Man That Will, Harley and manuscript, as read out of Gareth Pryor's book on the scholarly works of George Silver, part 3. Now, how this play goes, according to this translation, okay, is hawk made over the head, okay? However, it looks like that is asking us to respond to a hawk being made over our head. So they're coming in for a nice big downward strike, and we're going to answer it with what they suggest is a kind of, you bear up with the sword and deliver like a little flick to the cheek. So ultimately, that's your zerkow. It also says to like slope your steps out, and from what I can tell, the best way of doing this will be to, as I'm borne up, I'm stepping out like that, okay? And it does make or at least in that interpretation, it makes special note to bring in that right foot back. And if I was going to throw, like how they describe the classic sort of zerkow with the pivot step, that's kind of what we're getting there. So they come in with a downward strike, I hit them with the zerkow, and then let me just double check, because I've got myself got memory like a goldfish, and then it's, what is it, it's two half hawks, isn't it? Yeah, 2 half hawks bearing in, so sort of keeping the pressure on them, trying to get around their guard. And then the weird thing about this as well is it adds a kick, which I don't think I got from the initial interpretation. But anyway, so I'm bearing up, hitting that zerkow type thing. Then from here, I'm going to do 2 half hawks to try and keep that guard high. Now the only way I can think to do this from here, to be fair, it does mention running rounds. Okay, so what Gareth suggests here is the running is I'm kind of running that to meet my opponent's blade. So that might look like I've come there and then I'm running it round, almost mullinaying, or just keeping that blade tension. Okay, and either way with that, so if I just keep the blade tension here and like go into a crom, my half hawk could then look like something like that, which I'm starting to find is quite a interesting way of taking that half hawk meaning. I don't know if there's a similar strike in the other sources to that, but it's basically just a false edge thing. Or my sort of initial theory on the half hawks was they're just a lever action attack like that. So go through both. So if I've zerked off to the side, I've got this here, I want to keep that pressure, expecting them to attack me down here. So they've already hawked, they're going to send something at me. I need to just keep that blade there for a minute, run it on, or I need to push it off, or whatever, run the blade up to deflect their strike, and then bang, bang, double half hawk. And then from here it says to basically kick them in the leg, like aiming at the sort of knee ligaments, just boot them. And then in the book as well, there's a nice picture of the Talhofer sort of groin kick thing that they do off as Wirch. So I thought that was really interesting. And thinking of how you would actually get that to play out. So I've come up and zerked off, and then zerk off, keep that there, half hawk. Okay, that works quite nicely. So bang, 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 whatever. Their guards coming higher and higher, and then bash, take the leg. Fair enough. As opposed to bang, and then whatever the running means, let's say it meant sending a bunch of rounds out until I was happy, and then half hawk. But then that kick doesn't really come into play there, because with the half hawk, it doesn't make sense for me to stay in close if I'm dropping my arms like that. I don't think, anyway. Could be wrong there, could be totally wrong. But if I am supposed to deliver a kick, I find this type of position naturally makes me want to step back, whereas I could definitely see myself closing in there, and obviously with that makes more sense for closing in, or I feel like it makes more sense if I wanted to close my opponent in. So I think my leading theory on it so far then is work there, run it up, bang, bang, and then kick him. So option, alternative theory would be bear up, hit him with the zwerk, run a bunch more rounds on him, and then half hawk, kick him. Like that. So whether it is I'm holding that or having to shift that, okay, to deflect an oncoming strike, bang. It could be either or. I suggest playing around with either or. But that is all I have to say on the 5th lesson of the Man That Will. Hopefully that's been useful for you. As always, if you want to hear me talk more rubbish about English longsword, like and subscribe and share and all that lovely stuff. And let's get on with the 6th lesson. Thank you.